Hey. Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Now, I just finished the movie like 10 minutes ago, so it's fresh on the tip of my head. And I went to look at what other people thought, and it was not what I expected, if I'm being completely honest. It was... Right now, if you go onto Rotten Tomatoes and you look at the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, it has a 28% tomato meter. And I think that's bad. But I'm going to break things down while trying not to spoil anything about the movie at all. Okay. So overall, the cinematography of the movie is fantastic. Like, all of the shots look really cool, everything's really well lit, and it's a very well shot film, and the audio is all very consistent. There were little parts of weird dubbing, but I'm just gonna get that out of the way. Just like, it's pleasant to watch. There's no like obtrusive sounds. It's not by any means like videography or just generally like cinematography wise a bad movie. Like, it looks good. The plot, okay, it's a little bit corny, but it's not nearly as corny as people were thinking it would be, and it's corny to a point where it appeals more to, like, slightly younger audiences, but still is, like, it's not unfunny. Like, it's a nice movie. Like, it's a horror movie. It's not really supposed to be funny, and there are, like, some cheap little laughs, but, I mean, it's not like if Pixar made a movie, there's kind of like a happy ending, but it's not really like a happy ending, right? And I feel like the main reason people are giving it so much shit is because, I mean, they don't know about the past, like, history of the game and all of the lore, because if you watch it without knowing any of the lore, I would think it's probably a pretty good movie. Like, I think it'd be a decent movie. If you watch it knowing the lore, I love it. I mean, I think it's spectacular. It very quickly sums like a bunch of the base ideas into one, while not like directly saying anything. Like, it gives you some answers that obviously it's not. I'm going to tell you this now. I don't know if you all knew this, but it's not technically canon. It's like the older books where it could be like vaguely connected generally, but it's not full canon, right? Because there are obviously some differences that, for spoilers purposes, I'm not going to be going over in this video. I might do a separate one about that in a bit. But very well put together. To a person who doesn't know any FNAF lore, it just hits all of the key points very quickly. There are tons of cool references for the people who know every single ounce of FNAF lore and every single, like, little itty-bitty bit. But it's not, like, overdone. Like, it's not shoving it in your face. It's not like if you didn't know the FNAF lore, you wouldn't understand what was going on, or you wouldn't have a good experience. I think it would definitely escalate your experience, or make it better if you knew the FNAF lore, but obviously not everyone knows the FNAF lore. And obviously they accounted for that, right? And they've done it very well, to the point where, I mean, it works. There were some moments where I was like, okay, this shit is corny, right? Like, there are some scenes where you'll be like, okay, what am I watching? Like, what is this? Like, it doesn't look bad. It just looks kind of tacky. But, I mean, it's kind of supposed to. Or, to me, it seems like it's supposed to. Because... right, obviously, when you're supposed to be scared, you're not supposed to be, like, laughing. You're not supposed to be laughing because you think something's, like, silly looking. But it's not that bad, and I feel like in theaters, it would have been, if I hadn't have been fucking around while watching it as much as I was, and I had have been watching it in a theater, the moments that I thought were a little bit tacky, probably I wouldn't have even noticed them. Like, they're not very noticeable things, but there are moments where I'm like, okay, this is not great. I'm gonna take a look real quick at some of the negative reviews, because I've been talking a lot, just rambling on for a bit now about what I think these are gonna say, but I haven't read all that many of them, so I'm gonna take a look. Five Nights at Freddy's is functional and at times even interesting, but eventually becomes inconsequential in its last scene. Okay, let's read some more. These are just annoying me. If you're inclined, I suggest you play the home version. Pretend the movie is Freddy and do everything you can to avoid it. That's not even helpful. I want honest reviews, please, dear God. I'm trying to make a video here, Mike. Only fans who come to hear the game's catchphrases and callbacks will feel seen. Anyone else is better off bellying up to the bar at their local Chuck E. Cheese. Okay. I did touch on this already. It feels like there are definitely more targeted things towards FNAF fans. I will give him that. And there are some scenes where it is, like, I'm going to say this now, just looking back, there are definitely some scenes where it's abruptly obnoxious. Like, if you are a FNAF fan, like, I don't want to give a spoiler, but there's a very specific line. And the line is said in a way that is, it's borderline offensive how tacky it is, but it's not bad, right? like it's just like, it feels like they're calling out FNAF fans too much at that point, but it's not like that's what the entire movie is built off of. It's like maybe two scenes, if even, and I feel like they're pretty shallow in the background. A weird horror concoction, fleetingly clever in the early going before gumming up the gears down before the home stretch. I disagree. I think the ending definitely, okay, I do have this to say about it. It definitely feels like they started going a different direction with it about halfway through, but it only feels like that for about 5 minutes. And this sounds really bad. It sounds like I'm doing everything I can to defend them and there's no defending to be done. But genuinely, there's just like this small disconnect where it feels like something in the script changed or something went on where it's like a tiny little, like, I don't even want to say hiccup because it's not that noticeable. Like, I was really paying attention to even minorly notice it, but it just feels like there's like, they were planning on doing something different and then they didn't do it. Caught between PG and R, well is lost at the crossroads of introverted comedy and horror. The PG-13 has to go down as well as port. I really disagree with that. Go watch Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That is a bad film. I do agree with the idea that it should. I feel like PG-13 was a little weird because there was this specific moment that I remember where, like, it's like everyone's fighting, everyone's dying, everything, or not like that, but like, you know, people are dying, it's violent, right? Obviously, but there's just this like random moment where the girl just says, "What the frick?" or like something along those lines, and it's like very calm. But like, it's not noticeable, and they execute it very well. And I do understand that a lot of FNAF fans are kids, so making it PG-13 definitely helped them sell it to a wider audience. But I do wish they had have just said fuck it and made it R, because it's pretty. Like, obviously a lot of people don't like full violence, but I feel like if there had have just been full out, like all out violence, it wouldn't have improved the story, but it might have just made it seem a bit more realistic, because the games are scary, right? The whole idea is like murder, death, violence. I feel like it would have fit better with the story to have it just be all out violence. But then again, like, that's not, from like a marketing standpoint and from a actually watching the movie standpoint, it doesn't affect it to the point where I care, and it does affect it for them to the point where it's like understandable doing. You may chuckle, but it's hard to tell if the movie is laughing with you. I don't understand what you're saying. So I'm just going to ignore that. Weirdly, I don't remember laughing. I mean, like, there were some little jokes that I like giggled at, but it was actually like scary to me. Maybe because I had all my lights off and I was like watching it curled up in a ball. I'm really bad with horror movies, but I did take my full effort and I did watch it. I swear to you, and it was scary. I mean, it was very intense and constantly had you like on the is the best way I can describe it. It's very tense, but I like it that way. I mean, it's nice. It fits the vibe. It's not supposed to be happy. The characters are all really stupid, but that's a whole different ballpark. The ultimate result is a snooze. I mean, I didn't snooze. I stayed awake. I don't know what you were watching. Not much to snooze about. Five Nights at Freddy's is somehow a slog to get through and will be promptly forgotten by morning. Okay, Benjamin. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of your name. That's fucked up. You don't do that. Okay, but I'm done reading reviews because a lot of them are just like stupid things. Like, one night is too many. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. We're all laughing. We're all laughing with you. Look at me. You see me laughing? Do you see a fucking laugh coming out of my mouth? Do you see me laughing? No, you don't. It's because I'm not laughing. Overall, I give the movie a 7 out of 10. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it. The ending was very cool. It all felt very coherent. It fit together really well. And it was genuinely cool. I am not a movie critic. Do not attack me. I don't want to hear a single goddamn word. I don't want you to go into the comments and say, it's actually not a good movie. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm not saying it's an amazing movie. I'm saying I would recommend it to someone. I think it's cool. It's worth watching. I'm not saying it's the best movie ever. I'm not forcing you to watch it. Please do not come at me. I don't want another Ben Shapiro incident. I love you all. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.